when you understand what your why is, then everything will fall into place. And if you've got them out of order or you don't understand what it is, you'll just kind of be tripping over yourself for a little bit.
Hey there, and welcome to Above and Beyond, the podcast where excellence meets elevation. I'm your host, Jan Simon, and I'm here to bring you real, unfiltered conversations with the people who are pushing boundaries and building something bigger than themselves. Digging in on mindset, mission, and the moments that shape these high performers and purpose-driven leaders. Whether you're chasing your next level or just getting started, you're in the right place. This is more than a podcast. It's a mindset, and we're taking it above and beyond. Today, we're joined by a powerhouse in Arizona's real estate world, Melanie Nemetz. With over 22 years of experience, Melanie is a founder of the award-winning Melanie Nemetz team at Keller Williams Integrity First in Gilbert. Her team has earned the title Best Real Estate Team in Gilbert, and Melanie herself has been voted Best Real Estate Agent in the community she proudly serves. But Melanie's impact goes far beyond property lines. She's a Gilbert Leadership Program graduate, a finalist for Business Leader of the Year through the Gilbert Chamber of Commerce, and a trusted name when it comes to building genuine relationships in real estate. In this episode, we talk about the journey behind the accolades from the early days of her career to leading a top producing team, and how she continues to evolve in a competitive market where staying grounded through her love of the outdoors, traveling, and her family, and of course, spending time with her two golden retrievers. Whether you're in business, leadership, or just love a good story of purpose and persistence, this is for you. Let's go above and beyond with Melanie Nemetz.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Welcome. Well, thank you. And I had to get the retrievers in there. Golden retrievers,
yes.
Those are the most important.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah, you have two.
Two.
We have two. How old are yours?
Luke is 4. We joke he's going on 6 months.
Okay.
He's a ball of energy all the time. And Molly is 8.
Okay. And you had one that lived till she was oh my gosh, that's old for a big dog.
Yeah, and we rescued her and her sister at 8, so we figured we'd get a couple years out of them.
Yeah.
The sister lived to be 14, and then Zoe went on to be 16. It was amazing.
Wow.
Best dogs.
That's
Best dogs.
incredible. Yeah, we love Goldens. I would love to get a Newfoundland someday. If we had a place in the mountains.
Yeah.
I was at a ribbon cutting for the new gates at Gateway Airport, and they had a service dog that was a Newfoundland. It was so big and so cuddly. I just love the dogs with the hair. I want to put my fingers in the hair and
have a furry dog.
Oh yeah, and just soft. Anyway, so I digress. I could talk about dogs all day.
Me too. Let's make a podcast of just about
dogs.
Yeah.
Just dogs. Okay, so Melanie, we are here on Above and Beyond. Thank you for coming on.
Thank me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Let's start with little Melanie.
Okay.
So let's talk about your childhood growing up. Did you grow up here in Arizona?
I did. So I was actually born in the White Mountains.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'll date myself. In the late 60s, every man my dad's age at that time had to serve in some capacity.
Yep.
So he was serving as a dentist, and they moved him to a town called White River, which is on the reservation.
Okay.
So we would not have been able to live there otherwise, but he provided a service to them. So my sister and I were born there. My brother was a toddler about that age.
Okay.
So we lived there until I was about 2.5, and then we moved to Phoenix, and I was raised in the same house until I left for college at 17. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And in Phoenix, Shadow Mountain High School is what I've been told.
You have an inside scoop on
Yes.
that. I know
Now,
you do.
here's the real question. Can you sing the fight song?
Oh, gosh. I should.
Because I know somebody who does every time you mention it.
I'll have to go to the Wayback Machine and check.
That's funny.
I know.
That's funny. Yeah. No, Christine
That
is
is
very proud of
funny.
the fact that she knows how to sing the Shadow Mountain fight song.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to connect with her, and she'll have to refresh my memory.
Something like Shadow Mountain. Anyways, I don't know. But okay, so when did you move down to the valley? Oh, so really young.
Yes.
And then you grew up in the same house.
Yes.
All the way through.
All the way through.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome.
Now, Andrew John says he's lived in 2 zip codes in his entire life.
I heard that.
I think you've got a few more than that, though, because Shadow Mountain's a little bit away from here.
A little way from here. This was 85028.
Okay.
And eventually, when I left for college, I went to University of Arizona.
Okay.
Went there for 3.5 years. And then I transferred to Arizona State. And then I just stayed in the East Valley after that.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
What did you go to school for?
Well, originally, it's really funny. My mom and I were just discussing this the other day. I started out as fashion merchandising major.
Oh, no kidding.
And I called her at one point and I said, we are in the chapter called The History of Polka Dots, and I don't care. So I need to change my major.
That's funny. That must have been like 1991, 92, had to have been around that time, 1980.
87.
87, okay.
87, yep. So I switched my major to communication. And that has been a perfect fit for me. And I would say I use it because at ASU we had to declare an aspect of it. So I declared interpersonal.
Okay.
And I thought about doing like marriage counseling, that kind of thing. I feel like I do that every day at work anyway. Sometimes it just goes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a all-female team?
I do.
Okay.
And when I say at work, I mean with clients, trying to figure out with the process and working through. It's a lot to navigate, and it's very high stress and a lot of fears and unknowns, and it's interesting to watch them navigate that. And so sometimes we can see, well, they're going down this road. We need to really help them. They say this is what they want. We need to like guide them, you know.
Is it true when people say happy wife, happy life that most guys kind of fall into that with the buying of a house?
Some do.
Situation?
Each relationship is very different, is what we find. Okay. And so while that applies often, it also, there are times where you see one scaling back and another coming forward. You see one just kind of dismissive to the other needs. And that's where we have to kind of step in and say, okay, let's regroup and talk about what we want out of this experience. And
reading between the lines, I'm not going to show you another 20 houses just so you can see another 20 houses.
Well, it's hard to watch that happen and have them make no progress and their frustration build. And that doesn't help anybody.
Yeah.
So just kind of that regrouping conversation helps a lot.
Gotcha. Okay. So rewinding.
Yeah.
Young Melanie, 2nd grade, you moved to Phoenix. Did you play sports?
I was a gymnast. My sister and I were both gymnasts. Okay. And it's funny because we were in what was North Phoenix at the time.
Okay.
It's not North Phoenix at all anymore.
Yeah, it's like
all the growth.
It's like the central Phoenix.
Right, but town kind of stopped past us. And so, yeah, I grew up there. We were gymnasts, and we commuted to Tempe for the gym.
Oh, no.
And so we had a carpool and everything. It was on the south side of the riverbed.
I would say was that before they built the bridge?
Yes, and so there were a couple times the river overflowed, and the one bridge that, other than the Mill Avenue Bridge, the Hayden Bridge, would flood over. And being serious about sports, they would say, well, we'll drop you off on the north side of Mill Avenue Bridge, because the traffic was horrendous, because everyone's now using that one bridge that's working. And we would run across the bridge, and the gym would pick us up on the other side. So
no
we
kidding.
could still do our sticks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
it was funny. So I did that through 7th grade. And I was very sporty. I was actually shy. I'm still shy in some aspects of my life, and others not so much.
Yeah.
But very shy as a young kid. And 7th grade, I was like, oh, I have to choose between going to a school dance on a Friday night or open gym for 2 hours. School dance.
Socialite.
And that's where all that changed and started. So I quit gymnastics and didn't do a whole lot right away, otherwise for sports. And then I decided I wanted to do track, which it's funny now. I look back, it makes perfect sense. I couldn't understand why someone so athletic could not do well around the track. And later in life, I learned I was in the hospital a lot up until age 2 because I had asthmatic bronchitis that was so bad. And I was in the oxygen tent and the whole 9 yards. And the doctors just say, you know what, you just need to pick a different sport.
No lung
this
capacity.
isn't for you. You can work out for 4 hours, but you can't run around the corner. It's just how that's going to go.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, and then that led into end of 7th grade. My sister's 1 year older than me.
Okay.
And so she had been on cheer at Shea Middle School.
Okay.
And so I tried out at the end of 7th grade for 8th grade, and she was on the inside scoop because she was on the cheer line. And at the end, she said, well, you were number 11, and they took 10. And I thought, this will never happen to me again. I'm going to make sure of that. So I made it in high school, made the cheer line, and then by my senior year, I was captain. So
Wow. Okay.
Talk
Very
about
cool.
taking something that crushed me, and I just said, we're going to just spin that here.
Yeah, that's an awesome story. There's so many people who've done the same thing.
Yeah.
Couldn't make the team,
Right.
whatever. And they say, okay, well, I'll show you.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Well, and I had to reflect and realize I didn't practice that much going into the tryouts. I thought I had it in the bag because I was a gymnast. I can flip around. I can do all the things. And gymnastics wasn't a huge component of cheerleading at that time, but still just having the skill set and all that. So, yeah, I practiced all the time.
So I grew up in a really small town. And like the cheerleaders, we had like a core group of cheerleaders that were kind of like the cheerleaders for everything.
Yes.
And depending on the sport, they'd maybe send a couple.
Oh, gotcha.
Did you guys have to choose specific sports that you were going to, or?
It was predetermined. We only did football and basketball.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No wrestling.
No wrestling. No.
We had cheerleaders. I was a wrestler, so
Oh,
we
you
had
were?
cheerleaders.
Yeah.
It's funny though because I'm thinking back. I'm like, I feel like there was maybe 10 to 12 cheerleaders total,
That was about what we had.
and they kind of did all the sports.
Okay.
Feel like maybe that's my
Right.
perception. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird because I'm sitting here thinking, I feel like they did.
Yeah.
I mean,
We cheered at all the football games, unless it was some super far random faraway place. That wasn't very common. We did not cheer at all of the basketball games, which was interesting. So
you were just kind of there.
well, we didn't necessarily go to some of the away basketball games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we always cheered at the home games,
But not the away ones.
but it was really fun. I really
Interesting.
enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool. Did you pursue that into college too, or no?
I didn't.
Okay. Was that ever a thought, or you just like?
Yes, so I was randomly placed with 3 roommates in college, and we all got along, and it was beautiful. We were from all over the country, just very, very different personalities, and it just worked. So one of them came home one day to our dorm, and she says, "Cheerleading tryout." So it was a flashback to 8th grade because we hadn't practiced.
Yeah.
But the most challenging thing about it, especially in college, you have your base, the person that's doing all the lifting and the throwing and all of that. They didn't have very many of them. And so there were way more of us trying out than them, and all of us had to use one of them.
Oh.
And my guy no-showed
Oh, no
the
way.
day of tryouts.
Oh,
and
my
so I was
gosh.
like, well, I think I know how this is going to play out.
That's crazy.
So, but it's okay. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yep.
So a good friend of mine in high school, we ended up going to college together, rooming together our first year of college. After, I think he went his sophomore year, he ended up transferring to University of Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
And became a cheerleader out there, a base, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But he's an architect or something now. But I just remember him working out with the girls at Central, and I was like, holy crap, how do you and I was a lanky little wrestler. I was strong, but I'm watching this, I'm like, how the hell? It's
It takes
crazy.
a lot of strength.
Yeah.
And, I used
Shoulder
to stand
strength.
on one. We didn't always have guys on the team. We had guys on the team one year and none of the other years.
Okay.
And one of the other years, ironically, the person I stood on, her name was also Melanie.
Yeah.
And I just would feel like I was crushing her back. And then at the time, we had the Nike shoes as part of our uniform that had the little ridges on the side. And I was like, it's just going to dig into her
Digging
neck,
into her
But she liked it. And she'd always say, no, I'm good. You're not hurting
Crazy.
me. And
That's awesome. That's awesome. In school, were you, I don't know how to ask this. I don't want to ask you if you ever got in trouble, but were you kind of always in good? I mean, you're part of the cheerleaders. I don't want to stereotype the cheerleaders.
No, I'm pretty much the rule follower for the
Okay.
most part, so I didn't get in trouble often. Not that I didn't get in trouble, because my mom would say otherwise. But
Was there ever a time you didn't show up when you were supposed to? Curfew? Well,
Yes.
you said in 8th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, you decided that dances were more important than...
yes, they were. I still was pretty quiet. I had a great group of friends. I was always the kid of friends with everybody, and I'm still that way. You're nice, I'll be nice.
Yeah,
I
totally.
don't judge. Let's just be friends.
Yeah.
That's the way
You
the
do
world
you.
should go.
Yeah.
So, in high school is very cliquey, and I had friends in all the cliques just because I liked them. They were good people. And so I hung out with this one group of friends my freshman year, And a lot of them smoke pot, and I didn't. And finally one day I said, oh, okay, well, I'm going to try this. One by one, they each pulled me aside and told me all the reasons why I shouldn't do it.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Wow.
I mean, that's good friends right there.
That is really good friends. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and then my best friend, Dawn, just another good human. I was very fortunate to meet her in 8th grade. And so, yeah.
This episode of Above and Beyond is brought to you by the amazing sponsors who help bring this show to life. A heartfelt thank you to Above Par Network, elevating connections and creating impact. Foundation Insurance Services, protecting what matters most with confidence and care. Meritum Credit Card Processing, empowering businesses through expert consulting and unwavering support. And Rocks Ink Calligraphy, bringing beauty and personal flair to every handwritten detail. We're proud to partner with these outstanding businesses who share our passion for excellence. For more about our sponsors and exclusive podcast content, visit abovebeyondpodcast.com.
Awesome. All right. High school's done. You went on to college.
Mm-hmm.
I won't hold it against you as you went to U of A first. I'm proud of you that you decided to come back to ASU.
I did.
And then you graduated ASU.
Mm-hmm.
Did you go into the field you were studying, or did you say, no, thanks?
So it's really interesting when I think about what I studied, the fact that I changed my major, transferred, all of that, and straight out of college went and became a flight attendant.
No kidding.
Yeah. So I was interviewing with a number of airlines, and even before graduation, Continental Airlines, which no longer exists, but they were around at that time, wanted me to skip my graduation ceremony and start the training class. And I said, I'm pretty sure my parents would disown me if I did that.
Yeah.
So that's not an option. So then I went to one where I think I got on the plane 4 days after graduation kind of thing. Continental was struggling at that time. Mm-hmm. And I am just I'm often described as eager. So I'm excited. I'm here. I've just graduated. I'm making money. I'm excited. And they had just announced a pay cut. And this is a company that has been around a long time. They've had strikes, so they have what they call scabs and things like that. And there was a lot of bad blood. Mm. And here I am just ready to do my job, and people are sitting down, putting their feet up and saying, I don't get paid enough. I'm not going to do it. So guess who's doing all the work now? Yeah. So that lasted about 6 months. The culture just wasn't for me. Left, and I also got engaged during that time. Okay. So I was based in Houston, Texas. Steve was here. Oh, wow. That didn't help matters, right? So I came back here, took like a receptionist position in a financial company. Okay. And then one of she was my roommate in training at Continental, actually, and we stayed friends. She went to work for Southwest, and she's telling me how wonderful it was. And I said, you have 2 major airlines. How could they be so different? You're describing 2 totally different experiences. And she said, I don't know how to explain it other than I went home crying from the first one. And this one, on my days off, I pick up trips. And on her word alone, I applied.
No kidding.
And then I worked there for 10 years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Loved it. I love travel in general. I think even your teeny tiny little place has something worth exploring and enjoying. And
always say it's funny because a lot of people want to travel the world, which there's places I'd love to see. Mm-hmm. I think, and Christine, don't listen to this. I would love to take an RV and just hit all the back roads of the United States and Canada and probably, Mexico maybe. But just hit back roads because I just feel like there's so many cool places.
All the offbeat that you don't hear about. I mean, some of my favorite overnights were Boise, Idaho, because we stayed right by the river. Yeah. Because a lot of times we didn't have access to things. We didn't have transportation, so we had to get creative on what we were going to do on the overnights. And so they had a river right there, and I could go rent rollerblades and go rollerblading outside, and the weather was beautiful. It reminded me a lot of Flagstaff in the summer. Yep. Just beautiful weather. Yeah, so it didn't have to be a big town or offer something major, just something that I could go and enjoy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, thank God you went to school and got a degree.
I know. I do use it. I promise.
I say, it's funny because I say I have a 4-year degree and the only thing I got from it was debt.
Oh, goodness.
And the only thing I learned was I had a professor, I think my sophomore year. He was, I don't even remember what the class was. I feel like it was some type of math class or something. Mm-hmm. And he said, there's going to be times when you're overwhelmed with the amount of work you have to do for all of your classes. He says, if I can leave you with one piece of advice, take one thing and focus on that one thing. move everything away, everything else off your desk, so you only have that one thing, and then finish it, and then go to the next thing. He says if you try to take it all at once, you're going to be overwhelmed. To this day, there are times where I'm like, okay, everything off the desk. I got one thing. I just need to do this one thing.
Yeah, brilliant advice.
Yeah, and literally that's the only thing I've got. I mean, there's things I've gotten from school, but I've never used my degrees.
What did you study?
Fitness and sport management.
Okay.
It was basically precursor to physical therapy and strength and conditioning. And yeah, I used it for about 3 months.
But you probably use it in life in ways you don't realize. You're still in shape and all that, maybe all that still applied in some capacity.
Some way. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate your positive attitude.
So I think a lot about some of my upper level classes, like one in particular was called conflict and negotiation. And at that point in my life, I would have done anything to avoid conflict. I didn't like conflict. I didn't like unhappy things or unsettling things. And now I deal with conflict every single day at work. You have to work through some sort of problem that came up, and it's all about creative problem solving.
Yeah.
And so I think so often I would love to go back and retake that class because it's conflict and negotiation.
Yeah.
And I remember that professor. That class stands out to me so much because, one, there was only a midterm and a final. There were no other assignments, which was completely uncommon in communication. Usually you had 20-page papers all the time. And it was at 7:40 in the morning, and I have never been a morning person, and I was so dreadfully afraid that I was going to oversleep that midterm and start with an F, which I didn't, and I it all worked out. But I remember so many things. Like he would say to us, do you think that other things in life are negotiable? Like, is anything in life negotiable? And we would say, well, no, not everything is negotiable. And he would argue that back and forth with us.
Oh, wow.
And he gave an example that he went to a hotel and he said, no, they state what the price is. Do you think that's negotiable? And we're like, well, no, they state what the price is. He's like, you're wrong. You can ask if you have this discount, if you have this discount, and, this is what my circumstance is. What can you help me with? And it really, at that time in my life, I just remember thinking, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And now I apply that all the time. What I would give to go back and take that class now.
Yeah. Well, that's so cool because I feel as an 18-year-old kid coming out of high school, I went to college because that's like what I was supposed to do.
I think a lot of us did that.
Right?
Yeah.
And I played sports. I wrestled in college. I should have played football, but I didn't. But that said, I look back now and I think I still don't know what I want to do, but I feel like you talk about that course. I think about business stuff. Like I remember an accounting class I took early on because I declared my major as business when I first went into school because that's what all the athletes did. I'm a business major, And I'm taking this accounting class and I'm thinking, if this is what business is, I want nothing to do with it. Now I look back and I think, God, I wish I would have paid attention. It's like, oh man, how much could that help?
Right.
But I didn't know any better. Like you don't have any real life experience. I commend the kids that come out of high school who are like, no, I know exactly what I want to do. I'm going right here. I think we've put so much weight on that's the next step versus go explore life.
Right.
Go do you. Figure out who you want to be. When you're about 25 or 28, when it finally clicks in and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Now, what do I want to learn? And then don't have to go back and take the first 2 years as the 4 years of high school that you just finished, right?
Right.
Just get into the major.
Yeah.
We don't need to
Those
take
are fun classes.
Yeah, Math 101 and English. It's like, I did that in high school. Why am I doing that again here?
Right.
So anyways, you said you got engaged when you were in Houston, working for Continental. Did you end up getting married?
Yes.
Okay.
We are 32 years in now.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, been together 33, married 32.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I commend you for that.
And it was a whirlwind. We got engaged after 4 months. I think we met on the spring break right before I graduated, and then I leave.
Oh, wow.
And I think that probably had a lot to do with.
Pals? Did you write? Because I know
Oh
there's
my
no
gosh,
computers.
the letters, the phone calls.
You still have them all?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really? You don't have a box
Shoot.
stashed in the closet?
I might. There's boxes stashed all over the closet. I'm just not sure what's in all of them. But lots and lots of phone calls, and that was long before, like when you always paid long distance.
Oh,
for
yeah.
every call. Yeah.
I carried a prepaid phone card.
Yep.
I wasted so much money.
Yep. And then me being everywhere, then I got the beeper, which I needed for work anyway, because I was on, they call it reserve, so you don't have an actual designated trip.
Oh, okay.
When you're really junior like that, when you're new. And so they call you when they need you kind of thing. And you have 4 days that you're on, and they could not maybe call you till the fourth day, or they might call you on the first day. You have no control over it, and you just wait for your beep.
I had a pager. We got married in college, our last year of college, and then she ended up pregnant pretty quick. I mean, not really quick, whatever. And so I had a pager, and our whole thing was, if I get a page, it's 911.
Yep. Yep.
I'm like, okay,
Drop
it's
it.
on. So I'm sitting in the library. I think that I feel like the night, and I don't remember exactly, but it's like I can visualize sitting in the library studying with 4 or 5 people.
Oh my goodness.
And getting this text, and it's like, gotta go.
Oh my goodness.
So,
wow.
Yeah. But anyway, so you guys got married. And then you were with Southwest for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have kids in that time period or no? Or
No.
Okay.
So that was a journey. We married young. We
Okay.
were about, I guess it's all relative, but 22 and 23. So we just didn't quite feel
it's-
ready.
It's pretty old if you were a Mormon, but
Right.
I shouldn't say that on the air. But
I hear you. No, it's all relative. So we just didn't feel ready. And then around 30, we were like, okay, it's all silly. Like looking back, we would have been fine. You know what I mean? But we wound up going through infertility, which was really devastating.
Okay.
Yeah. So that went on for about a year and a half. And I think it was about 31, we did a couple of treatments. And I just remember the doctor saying, I'm not going to tell you you'll never get pregnant, but there's nothing more I can do to help you.
Wow.
Yeah, I was fortunate in a lot of ways because we did 3 months in a row of fertility treatments after trying for over a year. And it was just very clear. My body was not responding at all. He even said it because it's like you're not even taking it. But yeah, so the last month we had a little bit more of a response, but nothing. And the funny thing is looking back, I go in and they would do this internal ultrasound, probably a lot of information. Anyway, the nurses would be really chatty, and then all of a sudden they're just quiet. And that's when I knew, it's not good news. I'm going to go get the doctor. We'll be right back. And yeah, so it was tough. And, as a woman, that's what your body's designed to do.
Yeah.
And so when you're trying to figure out, well, now what am I going to do with my life, right?
Right.
And so that took a bit to figure out, and it had a lot to do with why I left flying and got into real estate.
Okay.
I literally felt like an 18-year-old all over again. Okay, what am I going to do with my life? Because I loved flying.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do it full time for the rest of my life. My goal was to work a couple of 2-day trips and be mom.
Gotcha.
And suddenly that's not an option at the moment.
Yeah.
So we were pursuing adoption and whatnot, but timing just wasn't quite right for the two of us. It's
Okay.
something you got to be on the same page with and whatever. So that took a bit, but I thought I'll get my real estate license and I'll do that part-time. And then back then we took all the classes in person.
Yeah.
And I kept running into a friend from junior high, high school, and college, and we ran in the same circles. And his name's Dennis, and he kept saying he was the VP of Sales and Marketing for T.W. Lewis. Do you remember that builder?
Yep.
Amazing builder. And so he kept saying, you should get into new home sales. It'd be great for your personality. And I remember thinking, that's not me. I'm not going to be a full-time salesperson in a model home.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all. I didn't see me as like a salesperson, quote unquote. And I kept running into him and he kept mentioning it. And after a while, I thought, he knows me. We've done, he did the football, I did the cheer, we did student council together. Like we knew each other.
Yeah.
He knows my personality. And so I thought, I don't know the role. So he knows my personality. I don't know the role. Let me meet with him and see what I'm missing that he thinks this would be such a good fit. And from there, it took a while. I wound up filling in as what they call a hostess if someone needed some time off, because they're not very generous with time off in new home sales, just FYI.
Yeah.
And Steve teased, I think I made $8 or $10 an hour driving all around town, filling in way on the west side and whatnot. And I said, let's just give it some time, it'll work out. And then he offered me the job. And so I started in Power Ranch, actually, with TW Lewis. So I was really fortunate with the start that I had in real estate.
And it was blowing up right at, you said 22
Oh,
years.
my
So,
goodness.
that's
It was
right.
2003.
Yeah, see, that's right when everything was just blowing up.
Well, the funny thing is, Power Ranch at that point, the 202 went as far east as Dobson.
Yep.
And the mall wasn't there. There was a handful of a few little restaurants, and people without the vision just would walk back out the door. It didn't work. And they complained that $325,000 was too much for this, beautiful home kind of thing.
What's crazy is, so At that time, we lived at Val Vista and Southern. We call it the barrio because we lived in a little patio home. I was working out of the house, I wanted an office space. I was like, we just need something a little bit bigger. Another couple hundred square feet would be great. So we were actually driving out to Power Ranch, and then we were going to go to Johnson Ranch, so
way
further.
Out. Yeah.
And we were driving down Higley, saw the stuff for Morrison Ranch.
Oh.
I was like, oh, let's go look at those. I was like, oh, those are kind of expensive, And then we ended up at Higley and Ray, ended up buying a not-so-stellar home. It was a beautiful home, big home for the money, but the builder wasn't great, and I won't mention the builder.
Yeah.
But we were literally driving to Power Ranch.
So funny.
And I think it was like 2003. So you probably would have been our
salesperson. Oh, I would have been there.
Yeah, that time. That's funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, that was right, man. We bought, when we signed the paperwork, I think we were like $248,000 out the door for a 4,100 square foot house.
I believe it.
By the time we moved in, it was like $100,000 more in equity.
Yep.
Within a year, it was like $300,000 more. It was just
crazy.
Stupid crazy.
It was
and then
crazy.
the market.
Yeah. So we lived in Ahwatukee our first 4 years. We were married. And we wanted to buy an Ahwatukee, but we couldn't afford Ahwatukee at the time. And so that's what brought us to Gilbert. We bought at Cooper and Warner.
Okay.
And our first home was a little 1,600 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath that we paid $132,000 for.
Oh,
I know. That same home now would sell for probably high fours, $5.
Yeah. Our house, so there's a Safeway at Val Vista and Southern. Behind the Safeway is little patio homes. So it's like this little neighborhood. They're all stuck on top of each other. We had a 2,100 square foot house, and I think we paid $115 for it.
Wow.
Yep. And recently it sold for over $400.
Oh, I believe it.
Like, there's no way in hell I would ever pay that kind of money for that house.
Yeah.
Ever.
So I have to get past the fact that I'm like, darn, I sold it. I
know,
kept
right?
it.
Oh, I think that all the time. Like, God, I wish I still had that house.
Yeah.
So, dealing with infertility stuff. Now, I'm going to kind of precursor this. Your tagline is fostering relationships.
Yep.
You fostered.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me about that.
Yeah. So it took a while for us really to find the right path for us to having children. I was a flight attendant, so at first it made a lot of sense. Like, we could go to Russia and adopt. Like, we can get there more easily than other people and whatnot. Decided that wasn't for us. So just all these different avenues. And then we decided that we wanted to foster. And we were probably 39 at the time.
Okay.
So long time, married 15 years at this point. And so, we specifically wanted a sibling group. We wanted to be able to keep some kids together because so often they get separated and that they already lost everything else. Now they're going to lose each other. So, it was just a second week in December of 2008 and got the call. Then they said, can you come pick them up? And I'm like, well, I don't even have car seats because we license very broadly. We said we'll take a boy or a girl and we'll take 0 to 10 years old. So it's hard to be fully prepared when you're
because you just don't know.
Right? So we had some furniture and some things. We didn't have any clothes, books, toys, nothing.
Okay.
So they said, can you come pick them up? And I said, I don't even have car seats. So if you have car seats I can borrow, then I'll come get them right now. And so they, of course, obliged. They were desperate. Kids, they were taking kids out of homes left and right at that point. So went down, it was Child Help down in Phoenix, and they were just building the light rail at the time. Okay. And I just kept making all the wrong turns trying to get home. It took forever to get home, trying to get these kids just comfortable.
How old were they at the time?
Joseph was almost 6. Ava was almost 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so little. Joseph was older, and he, remembers all of the things. Ava was just young and a little oblivious. And
so they still part of your family now?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
we fostered and adopted them. So
okay, so as I said, you foster to adopt.
That was our goal.
Okay.
But they can never guarantee that because it really, each case is very different, whether it's on a reunification or a severance plan.
So like if the family steps back in or something like that?
The goal is always to reunite. That is always the goal.
Yep.
But it's really based on, can that happen?
Gotcha.
And is it safest for the kids?
Yeah.
So it was decided, I think about a year and a half into them being with us, that the courts said, no, we're going to sever the legal ties. And so we knew going into that next school year that we would be able to adopt them. So
that's cool.
That was a good time to learn that because the adoption was going to take place partway through the year, and we didn't want our children to have a name change partway through school. So they were officially ours on this date here on my arm. Everyone always asks what this, I have no other tattoos. It's the only one, but our daughter, who's now 19, wanted this as her first tattoo. And she asked for it for Christmas, I think. And at first I was like, oh, that's awesome. I love it. And then she had Steve draw half the heart, me the other half. And I was like, okay, now I have to have that. And this is where she wanted it and exactly how she got it. So I decided I would do the same.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Proud mom.
Yeah, totally.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay, so I have a question because the way my brain works, and so forgive me if I step on something that you don't want to answer. Just let me know. As you're going through kind of the fertility stuff and you're not able, I can only imagine. We had our daughter, my ex and wife and I, and then we kind of went back and forth with, did we want another child? Did we not? Right? Because initially she wanted, I think, 4. I'm like, yeah, maybe 2. And so anyways, then we started trying. And then it was like, all of a sudden, it seemed like we couldn't get pregnant. And it was like 4 years between the 2 kids. Obviously we did. But there was some frustration stuff in there. I can only imagine some of the stuff that you went through from an emotional perspective. Yeah. Was it all Steve, your husband, right? That's his name, Steve. Was it all Steve that was there for you in that support, or were there other people that you were there to lean on that were really kind of, I don't want to say more of a support because I don't want to take it away from what he did, but was there other people that helped you through that?
Lots of people. We were really open about each step of what was going on. We had a really tight group of friends, and they wanted it as much as we wanted it. And I remember after that last appointment when the doctor said what I already shared, that, there's nothing more I can do for you. I remember telling Steve, I said, we're going to have to tell everyone that that's just where this is. And he's like, there's it's still pot. And I'm like, when you're the one seeing the nurse and seeing them start talking, all that, you just, and I always maintained the hope that he left with me, which was, I'll never tell you it can't happen. There's just nothing more I can do to help you. So, but yeah, our friends were all in it with us and anxious to hear every month and so supportive. But it's tough because they're all getting pregnant and having the babies and having the baby showers, and then life's getting busy where they can't really hang out anymore, and we're still baby free. So we have lots of time.
We'll go on another trip.
So it got to be a little, I don't want to say isolating, but kind of in that capacity. In general, we weren't isolated, but when it came to sort of that capacity of life changes and moving forward with family, we just sort of felt like we were way back here.
Gotcha.
So that was probably one of the toughest things.
Yeah. I just think it's so awesome that you were able to do that. I feel like, and I don't know anything about the system, just people that I've talked to and stuff, and I just feel like sometimes the system is rigged against being able to do that sort of thing. And so I think it's awesome that you were able to, and also sometimes the kids, when they get into it, they start getting chafed against it. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but
against the system, you mean?
Yeah, against the system. And then they get angry at the people that are around them because they don't want to feel, because they're afraid it's going to just rip them apart again.
100%.
So,
that is, there's actually something called reactive attachment disorder. It's referred to often as RAD. And that is 100% just that right there. There is that fear that you're going to be rejected again. And the reality is you aren't able to bond.
Yeah.
Because it didn't happen by a certain age, and usually it's by 12 months. So,
wow.
Yeah, brains are really interesting. You think of a baby who really can't do much, right? But by 12 months, that baby will know, hey, my needs weren't met. It's amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so it's I've been told it's the most devastating of diagnoses, but you see that a lot of kids who've been in foster care because of the path that they were put on. None of this was their doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the saddest part.
Do you stay involved with that world?
I do.
Okay.
So going back to, you brought up the fostering relationships as part of the business name. It's kind of a dual meaning. I'm very relationship driven, as are you. It's just how we do our businesses.
Yeah.
And I know no other way. I've tried other ways, and I'm like, ooh, now I don't like it anymore. I don't want to do this, And the way that I do it now is just beautiful, because then it attracts, I'm putting out genuinely who I am, and it attracts great people.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. But also, it's because foster care is so important to me. And my job as a foster mom was to foster the relationships in their lives so that they can heal and they can be better and they can go on to lead a good life. So it's that dual meaning.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Most people just, they kind of just glance right over it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
As they dig and they learn more, like, oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's such an awesome thing. And it's funny because we talk about fostering pets.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have the time to do it, but if we had the time and acreage,
right.
I mean,
we say the same thing.
I'd be all in.
I'd have 10 Goldens.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
hands down. But that's really cool. Now, the kids. So the kids have got to be in their 20s now.
Yep, 22 and 19.
Okay, so right there, I would assume you're not looking to foster any more kids.
No, and actually shortly after they came, because of their ages, I told Steve, I said, well, I kind of still want to foster a baby because I've never had a baby. And I just feel that need right now. But then I got over that. And
3 years old is
probably... They're still up in the middle of the night for other reasons, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I think we can just pass on that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, do they still live with you?
One does, one does not. Yeah. They're both just trying to find their path at the moment. It's really hard, really hard.
It's incredible. The kids these days, like I think about when I was, let's say 19 to 25. Now I got married pretty young as well, but let's say 18 to, I was in the bars, hanging out with friends, going to parties all over town. I've never really cared for dancing. Now I got into country line dancing and swing dancing for a while because that's more my white clunky guy style. but we were always going out. Always going out. And I feel like, at least from my perception, now it's like they don't. They don't. They like sit at home and they're hanging out with friends is on the video game or whatever it is. And it's like, how are you ever going to meet somebody? Or then once they do, and I'm kind of projecting, but once they do, then they don't know anything about each other because they don't know how to ask questions and they don't know how to interact.
It's a lot to navigate. It's very different now. Our daughter really started enjoying hanging out in Tempe. Even though she's not in college, she was hanging around with a lot of college students. So she has had a little bit of that lifestyle.
Okay.
Which, that's fine. That's great. Go enjoy it. There is the other piece, too, where she's home a lot.
Yeah.
And the friends hang out on the socials and all that. And so it's just so different. And I know we have to kind of open up our brains to, okay, well, this is what they know.
Yeah.
This is what their generation is doing as a whole.
Yeah.
Some are more social than others, and I get that. You're always going to have that. But going back to sports, I think that sports have a lot to do with what people will wind up doing in their life too. How disciplined are you? How social are you?
Yeah.
How self-motivated are you? What kind of leadership will you do down the road?
Yeah.
So I think that sports are huge.
Were your kids into sport?
A little bit. Okay. It was hard to keep them in something. Our son loved Pop Warner football until he didn't.
Yeah.
And our daughter loved dance, so she did dance through school.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I think here in the Valley, I grew up in a really small town in northeastern Washington where we could do everything. There's only half a dozen kids. There wasn't. There was more than that. But it's what it felt like. So it's like everybody kind of did everything. He's like, oh, you want to play football? Great. Come on for the football team. You want to play baseball? Great. Come on baseball.
See, I think that's awesome, though, because we don't have that now.
Well, yeah. And I look at the kids now today, and I've got neighbors who have daughters that are in club. That's like volleyball is their thing.
Yeah.
Club volleyball, then school. Yeah. School volleyball gets over, back to club, or
travel.
Baseball. Yeah. Yes. And it's like, and I think for myself, I think about, I played football, I was in wrestling, and I played baseball. And then when I got some things came up and got sick of baseball, I ended up getting into golf. I was in track for a little while. I was in jazz band. I was in choir. I was in jazz choir. I got to do all of those things. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I remember my dad used to say, because I thought about when I stopped playing baseball, it was because there was a situation with the coach at the time and whatever. But I'm like, I'm done. And he says, well, you're going to do something else. I'm like, I just think I'm just going to take time off because I've been in football and wrestling and I'm just tired. And he goes, well, you can be tired, but you're either going to work or you're going to find another sport.
Oh, I like that.
And I'm like,
He's not wrong.
Well, then I'm going to go out for golf.
There you go.
Because I'm like, if I got to do something, I'm not going to work, you know?
Yeah.
So I went out for golf. But it's like, I think about here in the Valley, I would have never had that opportunity.
It wasn't always like that, though, growing up here.
No?
No. Kids would play Pop Warner football, but almost anyone who tried out for football who had any kind of skills made the team, but not anymore. And it changed somewhere between my generation and my kids' generation.
Gotcha.
It became what you're talking about, where it's all club-based. And if you haven't been doing dance since you were 3 years old,
You're just not getting in there.
you're going to be here where
Yeah.
they're over here. And that's same with the football and everything else. So,
That's just crazy.
yeah.
It's unfortunate. I mean, it makes me a little bit sad because I think how important sports were to me.
Oh, yeah.
Just in character development,
Right.
learning to lose. And it sucked, but you
Right.
learn to lose with grace.
You do.
You learn to, deal with it.
Camaraderie,
Yeah. Oh,
supporting
yeah.
one another.
Conflict resolution. I mean, you know how many times I got my nose busted up on the wrestling match,
I
and
bet.
we're gonna go to blows, and it's like, okay, now we gotta be best buds on the,
Right,
in the hallway.
exactly,
It's like,
exactly.
so those are those things that I think you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I say sports, but it could be anything. I mean, it could be theater, it could be, choir or
Right.
or band or whatever it is, some type of club. You get that experience of being involved. So
Right. And that commitment.
Yeah.
So when my son was probably 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there, in the summer, I would sign him up for basketball camp at Williams Field High School. And one day I went to drop him off. And so you walk through their hallway to get to the gym. And as I walk through the hallway, on either side of the hallway, all of the football players are completely dressed out. They're in their cleats, the pads, the helmet, everything. And I am short. I am 5'3", but I've never felt so short in my life.
Oh yeah.
These high schoolers are huge.
Oh, isn't it crazy?
It was frightening, and I'm
mean-
thinking, you're in high school.
Yeah. Well, and full facial hair. I mean, I went to high school. There were 3 guys that I went to high school with, and I grew up again, farm town. 2 of the guys were like 6'5",
Wow. Yeah.
and they were big guys back then. Most of us were, 6 foot. I was 6'1", so I was actually one of the taller guys in
Yeah.
school. But yeah, you go into these high schools these days, and it's like,
It's crazy.
these guys are monsters.
Yeah. The training that they do now is so
Huge.
different.
Yeah,
They're in the gym every morning as part of school. It's crazy.
that's insane.
I mean, good.
Yeah.
I think it is developing that discipline and all of that we were just talking about. But the difference I felt in that hallway versus being around the football players as a cheerleader in high school,
yeah,
night and day experience.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I would imagine. All right, so let's talk about real estate.
Okay.
You started in 2022 or 22 years ago.
Yep.
You initially were working for a builder. How long did you do that?
A few years. And
Okay.
I feel really fortunate that I started with them because they had very high expectations of our service. Given we worked for the builder, the buyer was our customer. Now people are my client because it's just a different.
Yeah.
But so the customer, the buyers, we were required to call them once a week to give them an update. And fortunately, with this builder, the superintendent was required to do the same thing. So that level of service and that level of connection was there that was instilled in me right off the bat.
Okay.
So I feel very fortunate that I learned that early on. And they were I think his logo or motto was homes for the particular buyer. And he nailed it because they were very particular.
Oh, wow.
And it's amazing. You put something out that's so specific like that, and that is exactly what he attracted. And so we had to be on it to match that and to provide what they were looking for. So I was very fortunate to start there because when I transitioned to resale, which was in 2006, so shortly before the market crash,
Ouch.
great time.
Yeah.
Either way, it was going to be
Well,
tough,
if
right?
you were still with a builder, you probably would have just been let go. So
Exactly. So either way, it was
Yeah.
going to be tough.
Yeah.
I started with a company that was like about a half mile from my house. I'm very funny about proximity to my home and what I choose. And I was like, well, this will be perfect, right?
Yeah.
Well, they treated me like I was a very experienced salesperson, which is great, but resale is 100% different than new home sales. And the contracts are different. I showed up at the builder. They did everything. All I had to do was sell to the buyer.
Oh, wow.
That was my only job. In resale, everything is your job. everything. And I didn't ever get training on these other pieces early on.
Yeah.
And that was really tough for me, but you figure it out. So we refer to it as a solo agent. So I worked by myself.
Okay.
And then the broker of that company asked me to join his team. He was carrying a bunch of REO, a bunch of bank-owned listings at the time, I think about 70, and he was needing a lot of help.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, so I served as like his co-listing agent. It was actually wound up being perfect because that's also the time frame that my kids showed up.
Okay.
So it provided just a certain kind of stability for me to be able to then just pour into them the rest of the time.
Yeah.
Because I waited long enough to become a mom. They've waited to have stability. We all need to be in this together, 100%. So I remember when they first came along, my son was in kindergarten at tutor time. And then the next school year, we had him over at Power Ranch Elementary. And I remember thinking, I can't have them go to tutor time after school. That's not fair.
Yeah.
And so I told my boss, I said, I'm going to stop working every day at 2:30. I'm going to pick up Ava, and then we'll go and get brother. And I did. And I was home every day after school. We did snack. We did homework. Was there for them to play. I was the mom, go outside and play.
Yeah.
You know, and no one else was out, so they'd play with each other.
Yeah.
And that worked till it didn't. But so I've been able to do that my whole career.
That's awesome.
I'm so grateful for that. It was tough as they got older and as I got busier because then I just worked later in the night.
Yeah.
I basically just paused
Yep.
in that afternoon and then picked it back up after they went to bed.
Yeah.
But what a blessing I could do that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. How long into it before you started your own brokerage or your own team?
Yeah,
It's not really
so-
a brokerage, it's a team.
Yeah, I worked on the one team for a couple years. Then I did solo. I did stay home for a couple years as well. I was very blessed to do that. And then 2017 is when I started the team. So I started with hiring an admin and then a buyer agent because when you're a solo agent, you wear every single hat. You are the marketer. I did events. I had nobody on. I didn't have a team.
Oh, yeah.
And I hosted events where I needed people checking people in and setting up and tearing down and socializing. And my kids were assigned a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny looking back. One of the events I did at my house, it's a pie event at Thanksgiving. And I said, your job is to ask if they ordered pumpkin or apple. And here you go.
Yeah.
Like, simple,
Yeah.
but they were little.
Yeah.
And we did run out of pies because it was somehow wasn't done right. I don't know what happened, but I was trying to talk with everyone while they managed pies. But it's funny looking back. So admin first and then a buyer agent. And then little by little started getting all of the things off of my plate so that I could leverage everything so we could have more business. So
Gotcha. And now, how many people are on your team?
there's 5 of us.
Okay.
3 of us are licensed
Okay.
selling.
Okay.
Jessica is our director of operations, and she is licensed also, but she would rather be behind the computer,
Gotcha.
doing all the operations. When she has a buyer, she will work with that buyer.
Okay.
When she has a listing, I work the listing for her, and then she gets to get a referral fee.
How is that different than what a broker does?
A brokerage is the people, so they work on my team, and we all work at the brokerage.
Gotcha.
So the brokerage, am I allowed to say where? I mean,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So we work at Keller Williams with
Okay.
the Higley and Warner, and
Oh, and the building right there by
the
Okay.
CVS that never opened.
Yeah. They did
So
a good job fixing up that building.
oh, I love that building, and I love the location.
Yeah.
It's actually just brilliant.
Yeah.
It worked out. I remember thinking the CVS building, really, because I remember it. My brother-in-law used to live right around the corner. So, but it worked out. So we work for them. So we're all independent contractors in general. So we're independent contractors for Keller Williams.
Gotcha.
And then when they're on the team, they're also an independent contractor for me.
Okay.
So, and we each run our own business underneath that umbrella, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the broker is sort of the big umbrella for Keller Williams. The designated broker. So there's brokerage, which is Keller Williams, Integrity First, and then the broker is the one who takes all of the liability, if you will. And I always tell all the newbies, don't be sad that you don't know what you're doing yet.
Yeah.
You will never, ever learn it all in real estate because no 2 transactions are ever the same. I still have to go to the broker all the time with questions. And that's the beauty of it. And he's been in it for 20 years. He knows all the legal sides. So he gives me the legal answers that I need to go back and say, okay, so now I'll handle it this way and do that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answers the question. So we work kind of under their umbrella, and then I have the team within
Yeah, it does. It sounds very similar to our relationship. We call them aggregators on the insurance side of the house. So Roberts and Ryan being the primary agency, and then we work under that. I used to be a part of what was called Agents, or what is called Agents Alliance Services. I just got so big that it was hard to continue moving forward with what they were offering. And so then I moved to Roberts and Ryan because it better services, more carriers, better offerings for my clients.
Nice.
It's been a struggle getting through that the last year, but we're making headway and almost there. But yeah, it sounds very similar to that sort of relationship. So.
Yeah, and actually the reason I moved to Keller Williams is my business had grown so much I didn't really know how to handle it. I knew selling homes.
Yeah.
And Keller Williams just takes the mystery out of how to run the business part of it.
That's cool.
They don't force you to do anything in a certain way. They just say, this is a model that we have. This is a system that we have. This is what we would recommend. And I remember when I went to hire my first admin and I knew I needed a legal contract for that person to sign, I went to my broker and I said, do you have any examples that I could pull from? And he said, let me talk to some of our top producing teams and see if they're willing to share theirs. And they did.
Yeah.
And I don't have to reinvent that wheel. And there you go.
That's awesome.
And it was a lot of that with every step of the way of building the business. And so then we reached a point where we started building all of our own systems and processes for what we do and how we do it with our team, because you could have 10 real estate teams in the room and we all do things differently.
Right.
And that's the beauty of real estate, in my opinion. There's plenty of ways to do real estate and be successful. So the fact that we now have that whole operational manual and everyone knows this is how we do open houses, this is how we handle listings, this is how we, handle buyers, that kind of thing. So makes it more simple. We always say real estate is simple but not easy.
Now, there's been some changes recently in how you have to disclose compensations and things like that. Has that changed? I shouldn't say changed the industry because I know it has. So the obvious answer is yes.
Right.
But how has that changed things for you? And has it made it harder, easier? What does that look like going forward?
To us, it was just a kind of a system change. And prior to that, starting in 2018, every time we met with a buyer, we actually did what we call a buyer consultation. So we would ask them to come into the office, meet with us so we could learn better about what they were wanting to accomplish, rather than let's just meet at a home and try to figure it out 5 homes in, right? Let's start and have an appointment to begin with. Takes about an hour. We're going to cover these 5 things. And we would ask them at the end of that appointment to hire us because we get paid at the end. And it can be 3, 4, 5, 6 months in, right? And so we're happy to commit to you. Are you willing to commit to us, kind of thing. And so we've been doing that since 2018. And that process is one of the things that people are now required to do as agents.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So for us, we're like, you'll love it.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Because now you have someone committed to you and you're committed to them. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And once we started doing that in 2018, we had all of our escrows went much more smoothly. Because we would say, like, this is what you can expect from this step. This is what you can expect from here. And the communication is there. They know how and the when. It changed everything. So for us, it didn't change much on that side of things. We talk more clearly, and I would say it's much more transparent about compensation. Because back then, we could say, well, it's covered on the selling side, usually.
Yeah.
And now that's not how you would word it. We just have to say, you may have to wind up compensating us. Is that something that you can do? It might work out this way, or this way. Because they still sign the agreement, and there has to be a compensation amount in there.
Gotcha.
On the listing side, it's also wonderful because it's much more transparent now. So we always start with, have you heard about the changes that took place about 1.5 years ago? And usually they're like, yeah, but I don't really know what that means. And so then we get to explain what it means to them and that everything is a choice. You can choose to pay me. You can choose to pay me the amount you want to pay me. You can choose to pay the buyer agent. It's all negotiable. And I always say that up front because once they see the value in what I provide, they're willing to pay me.
Gotcha.
And the majority of the time, they're also willing to pay the buyer agent. The buyer agent now is required to submit what's called the seller compensation addendum. We call it the SCA. And that's where they request what they want to be paid. And that's all negotiable during the contract. So it's much more transparent for everybody.
Yep.
The seller has a choice. The buyer agent has a choice. The buyer has a choice. So I feel it's all better. But, anytime you have a shift and a change, nobody likes that,
Everybody
right?
freaks out.
The book, Who Moved My Cheese,
Yeah.
like, okay, let's just get through the change and everyone will realize it's okay.
Yeah.
And we just need to embrace it. So
Gotcha.
it's all good.
What advice, if you could go back to your 22-year-old self, 22 years ago, not 20, I'm getting all my numbers mixed up. If you go back to your 22 years ago,
Yeah.
have a conversation with yourself right now, what would you tell yourself? Would you tell yourself to do anything differently in your career?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I say no because I think everything I've done got me to where I am now. But if hindsight were 2020, I would just say lean into who you truly are, because that's what people want anyway. If they don't want to work with me, that's fine. Move on. There's going to be a lid for your pot. There's a lid for every pot. So the fact that I can just truly be who I am and work with people that I enjoy and they enjoy as well, then it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So just lean into who you are. Don't try to be something that you think you're supposed to be, or try not to be something that you think you not be too salesy, whatever. Just be yourself and do your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. I'm enjoying our conversation.
Me too. Thank you.
I'm going to move us along, though, into our next step. So we do this little thing called the pressure point.
Pressure point. Here we go.
This is where the numbers that you gave me
yes.
previously
Okay.
fall into place. You've probably heard this on the podcast.
I have.
You picked 3 numbers. I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Okay.
Whatever comes to mind. I just like this because it's sporadic.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, in no particular order.
Okay.
Not that it matters. First question. What's one misconception people have about success?
That it's all glamorous. We joke about that all the time in real estate because they see, and we make sure that they see that this house just sold and look at
Selling
this new
Beverly
beautiful
Hills.
listing and blah, 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 right? What they don't see is all the things that go on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And the obvious one is joking when we go to pick up our open house signs that have been out in 110 degrees heat, and when you're playing Frogger and you're praying you don't get hit by a car or your car doesn't get hit while it's parked in this odd spot, and you're picking up a sign and you're wishing you had oven mitts in your car. Stupid things like that, but also the stress that can go along with it and how it impacts the family sometimes. But, it's great that can be the end result, but it's the journey that gets there. In fact, I posted something today. It said, everyone who has seen your success story has not seen, I forget how it was, like the painful part of the success or something like that. And it's so true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because sometimes we get all, distracted by the shiny, bright, wonderful thing. But
When that whole adage of the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, right? It's like, well, because somebody's there working to make sure that it stays green.
Exactly.
Watering it, feeding it, whatever. So I like that. You need to add to your, I don't know if you do a welcome basket when somebody buys a house, but if you do, you need to add little Melanie Nemetz oven mitts, and then you should have each of your salespeople
that's
have
awesome.
oven mitts to
I love it.
the open house signs.
That's awesome.
All right. Next question. What's the biggest risk you've ever taken in business or service?
Biggest risk. I think for me, it was starting my team.
Okay.
Because if I failed, that would mean maybe they would fail. And it's one thing how things impact me. It's a whole other thing to impact other people's lives.
Totally.
Yeah. So, I have salary and payroll and all of that. And that's something I take very seriously because I want them to live the lives that they want.
Yeah.
And so I'd say for me, that was probably the scariest thing.
Isn't that so true? Like when it's just you, it's like, okay, it might be short this month. I'll figure out a way to make it through. But if you can't hit payroll, if you can't pay the person that's playing,
Right.
That's nerve-wracking. What comes first, profit or
Purpose.
I kind of know the answer
Yeah.
to that one. That's kind of easy. It's in the name, or in your tagline, I guess.
Yeah.
Your tagline. So
Yeah, purpose for sure. It's when you understand what your why is, then everything will fall into place. And if you've got them out of order or you don't understand what it is, you'll just kind of be tripping over yourself for a little bit.
Yeah.
So it took me a bit to figure that out, but I feel like I did.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's not easy. It takes a lot of soul searching and taking risks and all of those things, but it's worth it.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Where does Melanie go from here?
Where do I go from here? Well, I would say I'm within 10 years of retirement.
Okay.
So right now, I just graduated from Gilbert Leadership.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I loved it.
Yeah, that's
Loved
awesome.
It was amazing.
That's awesome.
And I'll be serving on the steering committee for Gilbert
okay.
Leadership. So I'm really excited about
Very
that.
cool.
So part of where I go from here is diving more into Gilbert.
Okay.
And, when you're in leadership class, you're exposed to so much that you haven't seen or known about before in the town of Gilbert, which I love. And now the job is, okay, how can I help other people experience that? And how can I take that a step further for myself as well and plug in more to the town?
Very cool.
So that's a huge focus for me right now. And then making sure the team is still established and everyone is living the lives that they still want to live. And taking good agents on when the right one comes along. But I'm not
looking.
Well, I'm not looking. I'm very selective.
Very good.
Very selective, yeah.
Probably very wise of you to be very selective.
Yeah, little I don't know. We'll see.
What would you tell somebody? Like, not that I would want to start a new career right now. Like, I've got to the point where I'm like, I do what I do and it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, hopefully 10, 15 years from now, I'll be able to pretend like I'm retired. But if somebody was starting out in the industry today, what would you tell them? What advice, what one piece of advice do you think you'd give?
Figure out why they're doing what they're doing, because when they understand their one big why, then navigate, because there are so many different ways that you can work in real estate and be successful. Some people do cold calling all day long because that's what they love and that's what they're good at. And kudos to them. Not for me.
Cold. No way.
Not for me. Some it's open houses. I mean, there are just so many avenues that you can work. Find the avenue that's going to work for you that blends with your true personality, with who you really are. Because when you figure out what that is, you're going to thrive.
Yeah.
Because when it's genuinely who you are, how can you not do well with it?
Yeah.
And we always say real estate is simple but not easy. Just do the steps. Eventually it'll pay off. We say pour all of your activities in the morning.
Yep.
And if you do that right, you will have free time in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Or the evening, whatever.
I have written on my whiteboard in office at home, focus on the process, not the outcome.
Yes.
Because
Perfect.
there's so many times, especially when like commissions are low or whatever,
Right.
and you're like, it's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And you just start freaking out about how can you do whatever. It's like, okay, just focus on the process.
Right.
Focus on the conversations. And for me, it's similar to you, I'm about relationships. So it's who can I talk to?
Right.
Who can I meet with? What's out there? Is there low-hanging fruit that I've had conversations with in the past that just didn't happen to
Come to fruition? I don't know.
whatever that is. But that thing, where it's like, okay, but I love, like when I talk to people about getting into insurance, I'll tell them like, what is it that you love to do and do that?
Exactly.
If it's sports with the kids, do sports with the kids.
Exactly.
Get
All
to
in.
know the people that are there. Get to let them know what you do, but don't be forceful about it.
Exactly.
Just work it into a conversation and let it be. And eventually, hopefully, the seed will have sprouted into something and they'll come to you.
Right.
And we're both in industries where somebody said recently, maybe it was Jeff from Car Life, I don't remember. Somebody said recently, you throw a rock and hit 100 of us.
Right. Oh,
You
easily.
It's like everybody's a real estate agent.
Everyone.
Everybody's
Everyone
an
knows
insurance
5 or
agent.
10. So
Yeah.
how do I stand out? How do I earn your business? Yeah.
And I don't want people to buy from me because they feel pressure.
Right.
I want to be there to educate, right? I just want to be there to be the person that's able to educate them or help them understand why. And hopefully that will alleviate some of the buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
That they,
Right. And the stress.
yeah. Another question that I have for you, I'm sorry, I keep dragging this on and
it's all
pretending
good.
like we're done and I'm not done because I have so many questions. Horror stories. Have you ever had to go show a house and you showed up and is like, oh my God, this place is a dog pit, or
Oh, definitely.
somebody was squatting in the house or something?
All of the above.
Really? Oh my
well,
God.
especially during the bank-owned days. I had a client one time that she wanted to see this one house, and you could tell someone was in the house because I got the door unlocked, but it's not opening because something on the other side on the top is preventing it from opening. So I'm like, look, someone's in here. It's a bank-owned home. They're squatting.
Yeah.
My suggestion is we leave. She's like, I want to walk around the back and I want to see. And I'm like, I'm not really sure that's safe.
Yeah.
But what do? We march around in the back and we're peering through the glass windows and we don't see anybody, but clearly someone was squatting in the house.
Yeah.
There was another one in Mesa that was really run down. And I was warned when I got there, the door may or may not be locked because it's heavily damaged. And I get there, and I don't remember now if it was locked or not, but I immediately was like, something's not right in this house. And there were little canned soup and stuff in what would be like a hall closet. I'm like, oh, someone's clearly squatting in here. That's like their meal for tonight or whatever. Separate from that, there was a beehive that somehow got into the house also.
Oh, geez.
I mean, you're coming down the hall and you can hear it just buzzing, and I'm like, I'm out, I'm
no
good.
kidding. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I had one more where I walked up, because a lot of times we would be second or third people to the house ever after it was vacated. Usually the locksmith was the first one. And as I walked up, I had to walk past like a side entry garage, and there were windows, and there's something covering the window, and the smell was horrific, and the flies. And I went back and I said, I'm not going in that one by myself. But it turned out, all I could think of were dead bodies, of course. It turned out there was just garbage that had been left in there. The garbage cans were full, and so that's what the smell was. But yeah, the bank-owned ones were really tough, because usually then you see the kid toy or something, and so kind of tugged on your heartstrings. But there was one I was like, I think they took a car engine out on this carpet or something.
Oh my gosh, that's bad.
Like, I don't even know how you could get carpet that dirty, white carpet that like black.
Yeah. Gross. Some living conditions. We flipped a house right before the recession, and it was picked up on a tax lien foreclosure.
Okay, very good.
And it was a hoarder's property.
Yes.
And it was so, like, obviously no running water for quite some time, so there was just feces and stuff in the bathrooms. We didn't gut it down to the studs, but everywhere we had to, we did, and it was so bad. There was so much trash. 2 of big, what are they, like 20-foot long by 10-foot wide
dumpsters,
bins, just full trash out of it.
Trashing it out. We call it a trash out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me, I had one, was a lead from an estate attorney. And so it had already gone through probate and everything. And I was working with a sister who lived out of state. And so she explained, I was estranged from my brother. He passed away in the home. And, we just need it sold. And so she warned me, she mailed me. Nothing was electronic with her. She mailed me a bunch of photos that someone had taken when they went in the home. Oh. And basically and this is the saddest part, because it was a townhome, so he's connected to another house, and it's in a cul-de-sac. They all face each other. How did nobody know that he was dead in there for months?
Oh my God, no kidding. How'd they not smell that?
I got 20 feet from the door, because it was this walkway where you went up this, and then you turned left, then you turned right, and you got to the door. The flies alone, dead flies in the one window, the smell. So then the first thing I had to do was have it rekeyed so I could get in there. And it was a young kid that came out, probably 18. It was post-COVID, but post enough that no one would be wearing masks anymore. And I said, do you have a mask on you? Because I'm like thinking he's like a little kid, and he kind of looks all annoyed at me. And I'm like, I think you're going to want one, but okay. And he's working, and it's summer, so it's so bad. But he comes, I'm standing way back, and he comes up, he goes, I think it'd be okay if you went and waited in your car, and I'm going to go and get a mask. I said, okay.
Oh my gosh.
I said, if when you get it open, if there's any chance you could just step in and get some photos for me and tell me if this, and that are there. The sister wanted like a couple of things. And he came back to my car and he said, I'm sorry, I got a few feet in and I couldn't do it.
No kidding.
Okay, no worries.
Oh my gosh.
But a tried and true flipper came in and took it down to the studs and made it beautiful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I know. It's just
sad. It's
that's
sad.
The thing. And like when I heard all this on the phone, I'm thinking, okay, that's really sad. But then you get there and you realize, wait, this is a townhome.
Yeah.
And all these homes face each other. And they're looking at me coming and going.
Yeah. How do you not notice that? I had when I first started in insurance, I was in claims, and we were in Central Washington, and I had to go to this old lady's house because one of our clients, and it was in the garage. But I pull up to the front of the house, and it's probably, we'll say 30 to 50 from the sidewalk to the house. I literally got like 2 steps onto the sidewalk. I could smell cat.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like,
wow.
Immediately starts like burning my eyes.
Ooh.
And I get up to the house. I'm just like, oh man. I knock on the door. This little old lady comes to the door, opens the door, and there's like cats everywhere. And I'm like, and tell her who I am. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here to see your car, whatever. She says, oh, it's in the back in the garage. You can come through the house. I'm like, I will drive around in the alley. I'm not allowed to go through your house. I mean, oh my God, it was so
And
bad.
she lives in it.
She lived in it, and I'm sure obviously she just couldn't smell it.
Yeah, she's unfazed at that
Yeah,
point.
but it was so bad. So I'm sitting here thinking about that house. I'm thinking, how can you be a neighbor to that?
Yeah.
Either through the walls or through the door and not
Yeah, exactly.
know something's going on.
Exactly.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Ugh, that's sad.
Yeah.
With that,
We have lots of happy
awesome.
stories too.
Yeah, I say, what's the best story? Okay, so tell me about. Do you have a niche that you focus on?
Mm-hmm.
Are you into high-end residential? Tell me what makes Melanie different.
Yeah. I think my niche really is sort of that high-end track home and initial custom kind of thing.
Okay.
We also love first-time home buyers because they want you to help them every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
They are thirsty for the knowledge. They are open to everything, and that's just so fun.
Yeah.
I also love the super experienced client that's like, yeah, I don't need to come in town. Looks great, you know.
You look at it, tell me if it's okay, and send me a
Yeah.
couple pictures. I'm good to go.
It's a little bit more common now after COVID. Not everyone could travel when
Yeah.
they were trying to find a house. So we use a lot of marketing tools that they don't have to. And so usually one person's in town and the other's someplace else just looking at everything online. And that's the beauty of what's happening now. So they can. And they can still feel confident.
Any crazy requests in a house that you've ever gotten? Like somebody say, hey, I have to have a dungeon or something like that?
No, but we find weird stuff.
Do you?
Oh, we find really weird stuff. I mean, it could be a placement of an outlet or just something you're just like, what? How? And the funny thing is when you're showing a vacant custom home, a lot of the floor plans, they don't make sense. And when they're vacant, you can't remember, have I seen 4 bedrooms or where's the family room? Because it doesn't flow and there's nothing to remind you. That's the beauty of staging. Like they're memory points.
Gotcha.
Right? And it gets you also emotionally attached. But when it's vacant and you're walking around just trying to figure out, I don't understand this floor plan. And I can make sense of floor plans. I can look at a blueprint.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
And you don't do any commercial, just residential stuff?
Just residential.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anything else before I wrap us up
I
here?
think we've covered quite a bit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I've really appreciated it.
Thank
it's been
you.
great
Thanks
getting
for
to know
having
you a
me.
little bit. Yeah. Everybody who comes on the show gets a gift.
Okay.
Yours is not quite 100% ready yet, but I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
So you get an APN coin
Yes.
and above and beyond. That's just a challenge coin for coming on.
Okay.
And then you've got a tumbler there that has your above and beyond. I went above and beyond logo on it.
I like it.
And we will have it personalized for you. I thought that I had one personalized, so I apologize I don't.
Thank
but
you.
we'll get that one personalized for
Beautiful. Thank you.
you. Yeah. Well, you're welcome. Well, thank you for coming on and taking the time. Getting to know us a little bit better. Appreciate getting the opportunity to know you a little bit better. It's been fun.
It has been fun. Thank you. Thanks for having me and chatting and just kind of letting it all flow.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is Melanie Nemetz, and I went above and beyond.
We truly thrive.
Like, share, and subscribe to Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation. Elevate your mindset, one episode at a time.